The government of India needs money to ensure that it can govern the entire country. Now, this revenue comes from a lot of sources, tax revenue as well as non-tax revenue. At the same time, the government year on year is spending more than what it is actually earning. This is leading to something known as a fiscal deficit. Now, under the FRBM Act of 2003, there is a limit to this fiscal deficit. It should be within 3.5% of the GDP. However, India has time and again exceeded this limit. Now, there are peace clauses under which India can exceed, but multiple times we have exceeded this limit. In extreme case of COVID, it went to 9% and beyond. Presently, our fiscal deficit is around 4.8%. Next year, we are targeting it to bring it down to 4.4%, which will still be higher than the target which is set over here. Now, that is why, to address this issue, many a times the government has previously also disinvested in PSUs, disinvested in its own assets, disinvested in its own companies. Disinvested is a word for basically selling off the company. We use the word disinvestment because the company may not be completely sold, it might be sold to a small extent also. The government has done that in the past, and that is exactly what the government is doing now by selling up to 2% of stake in the railway financier IRFC. Now, because of this, the government will have a collection of rupees 2,300 crores. That means 2% of stake is going to be sold, and Indian government will get this much amount. That is the idea. Now, why is this being done? This is being done in order to increase the revenue so that our fiscal deficit goes down. Also, the government has a target of achieving 80,000 crore rupees via disinvestment and asset monetization. So it has to achieve its target. In order to do that, it is taking this step. However, is this advisable? Is this the right way to basically earn money? Is it, is it not selling the PSUs which are doing well, which will create a harmful effect in the future? Because this PSUs and all keep on generating profits also for you. So, in what situation should you do that? In what situation should you not do that? Is the situation presently justifiable for selling this off or not? All this and much more is what we are going to see in this video. So, let's get started with it. So the news is about the government of India, that is the central government. It is accelerating the stake sales in public sector enterprises, that is PSEs, also known as public sector units, that is PSUs. Right? Why is it doing? It is doing in order to mobilize non-tax revenue and to improve the public participation in state-owned companies, basically to collect the non-tax revenue. Okay. Now, what is exactly going to be done over here? Government is going to divest, means disinvest up to 2% stake in the Indian Railway Finance Corporation, that is IRFC. Now, this sale is going to happen through the offer for sale. Now, it's not going to happen through an IPO, that is initial public offering, or FPO, which is follow-on public offering. It is going to happen through offer for sale, which is different from IPO and FPO. Right? So, let's look at these things. First things first, what is offer for sale? Now, in this offer for sale, initially they are going to offer 1% equity stake, and then additional total 2% is going to be sold. First 1%, then additional 1% stake will be through green shoe option. What is this green shoe option? If basically the demand exceeds and there is more demand, you can sell this additional 1% also. That is known as green shoe option. Now, so that is what this green shoe option, an option allowing the seller to offer additional shares beyond the initial issue. So initial issue will be of 1%. If there is a requirement, another 1% will be offered as a green shoe option. Now, this particular thing is used when the investor demand exceeds the expectation. Investor demands more, so you can provide more through the green shoe option as well. Now the question is, what is the reason for sale? First, raise non-tax revenue. Second, improve efficiency and accountability in PSU. So what they are doing is they are selling it, private sector is involved, will get involved. As a result of which, generally it is said that when the private sector is involved, it comes along with a higher efficiency in the system. Not necessarily the case, because we have amazing mini ratnas, navratnas and maharatnas companies doing exceptionally well, which are government companies. But yes, generally it is presumed that that is what is going to happen. So because of disinvestment, when the private sector will be involved, then that will lead to improved efficiency and improved accountability. It will broaden the retail investor participation, will broaden, it will unlock value from public asset. These are all good words in order to simply say that they are selling and getting the money, right? But in answers, you will have to use these words: unlocking value from public assets. Now, I have also told you that there has been a target that the government has set. What is the target? This financial year 27 target is that the budget target, in the budget, the target was set that around 80,000 crore rupees from disinvestment and from asset monetization will be extracted. So far 16,400 crore only has been raised. We need a lot more. Disinvestment, basically selling of the PSUs. What is asset monetization? You have huge amount of land, place, infrastructure, etc. Give it on rent, give it on lease in order to extract more money from that. Or maybe something is dormant, not utilized, so you might sell it, but you can also lease it or rent it and generate money from those assets, known as asset monetization. Now, about the Indian Railways Finance Corporation, this is an organization formed in 1986. It's a Navratna PSU. So disinvesting in a Navratna PSU is basically, that means this PSU is already doing well. It's a Navratna. You can become Navratna only after you have certain amount of profit, certain amount of positive net wealth, so on and so forth. And if you score more than 60 out of 100 over various parameters, comparing yourself with other players in the same sector as well. So it is actually doing well, but still it is being sold. Anyway, let's move ahead. It's a principal financing agency for the Indian Railways. It basically raises funds for them. Also, if you look at its regulatory status, it is registered with the RBI as an NBFC, non-banking financial company. A question that can come over here is, are all NBFCs registered under RBI? No. Only basically the deposit taking NBFCs and all etc. are registered. Some of the NBFC in the insurance sector will be registered under IRDAI. Some in the stock sector will be registered under SEBI, so on and so forth. Next. Yes. Now let's look at the challenges and valuation. Challenges and way forward. Basically the issue, one of the challenges, it's valuation. So what is the challenge in this? First challenge is, did you do the valuation right? That means that 2% which you are selling for 2,300 crore, is the valuation even right, or should it have been more? Is it crony capitalism? Is it business person politician nexus that you are selling it off for cheap? Or is it actually the right? So that needs to be ensured, and we need to ensure fair valuation. Second, we need to balance the revenue generation with strategic control. Just for the sake of more and more revenue or to lower the fiscal deficit, you cannot keep on selling. You also need to have strategic control that needs to be maintained. At the same time, maintaining the investor confidence also in the PSUs and stuff, or else if you keep on selling, the people have invested in this because it's government owned. If you keep on selling, the investor confidence may go down. At the same time, if the PSU is performing well, it is in profit, etc., you may not sell it because that is an asset for the government which keeps on generating revenue for it, right? So that is why there needs to be better methods to lower the fiscal deficit. What can be the method for lowering fiscal deficit? It can be fiscal consolidation. Trying to create more efficiency in your expenditure in order to reduce it. Reduce it, and as in not reduce the things on which you are spending, but try to spend it efficiently. Spend it in developmental manner, asset creation, all that should take place, and generate more and more revenue, nudge more people to basically pay the taxes so that you broaden the tax net, so on and so forth. So fiscal consolidation should be our way forward. Thank you.